Hey y'all, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk about how to get started in rodeo. I've had a lot of questions with people all the way from young guys to people my age and older. Well, not many guys older than me, but you know what I mean? Like adults, young adults, stuff like that. And they were wondering how to get in the rodeo, how to get started. They don't have much experience, or they have ranching experience, or they saw a rodeo and they want to try it, which is cool, man. I mean, whatever it takes, whatever that drive is for you to want to try it, that's awesome. It doesn't matter what it is that makes you want to try it. It's what comes afterwards, how you try and how you get along with it and get going with it. So when you start rodeo, it kind of depends on your age and where you're at. If you're younger, like a little kid, like there's youth rodeos and associations that are for 6 and under all the way up to 18. And there's some that are just high school kids. And then you have open deals and pro rodeos. So if you're younger, there's a whole bunch of different events that you can do then. And you can talk to your parents and try to get into those and look for local youth and high school rodeo associations. And we'll touch on the different levels of associations and different levels of rodeo in another video. But for now, it's just know that there are stuff out there for you to start when you're really young. So you can, if you're young, like I said, start with those, look into those. There's associations, they have people there and parents there to help you and people to teach you how to do those events. I mean, they have things as simple as dummy calf rope tying. Like you run up and you tie the legs on a calf, but it's just a dummy. Like it's fake. They have ones where you just go up and you pull the ribbon off a goat for little kids. It gets them in it, gets them experience and stuff like that. So they have that. And then as you get older, like if you're in high school, then it gets a little bit more serious. You get into the actual main events in professional rodeo. They have bull riding and everything like that. So once you get to that age, you can look into high school rodeo, but in order to learn your event, you really need to find a school or a clinic somewhere to go to try it. Most clinics and schools have it set up so people who have never done it before can come try it out. Not all of them. You really need to do your research with it. You really need to look into it. Like I've been to some schools where I would not recommend people who have never been on a bucking horse go to, because the horses they're putting you on are a bunch of colts, and that's not a good way to learn. You want to get on stuff that's appropriate for your level. So you want to find a school somewhere like that. You talk to them, you're like, hey, I don't have equipment, or I have equipment, I've only been on a few, I have no equipment, I haven't been on anything. What can you, like, what do you offer me there? What's going to be like sometimes you go to schools and you pay to go there and you've never been to one. So you get there and they let you try equipment. They put you on the bucking machines. Maybe they'll put you on steers, but they're not going to put you on horses because you're not at that level where you need to get on it. And that's all up to who's teaching each school and who's out there doing stuff. That's all up to the coach or, the teacher of the school. I've put on a couple, and there's been times where I told guys, you're not ready to get on. You have just a very basic understanding. I'm not going to put you on a horse that's going to get you hurt, even if we just have a hopper. In that case, we might put them on something that they can lead out so you can get a good feel for a mark out, what it's like being up there, and kind of get the basics of stuff going. But again, that's all stuff that goes along. Like that's a whole nother video I can do on how we do schools and how schools are done. But basically, when you start in rodeo, you need to find a local school. Best way is to find a local school or a school that is pretty well known or accredited, I guess. Not really accredited because it's not really accredited rodeo schools, but something that has some people teaching and stuff like that have experience teaching. Like anybody, guys can ride, but not everybody can teach. But I mean, everybody has something to teach you. It's hard to explain it. I try to learn a little bit of something from everybody, but still I'm kind of rambling on like I usually do, but the key is to find a good school with good teachers that it's appropriate for your level. So once you get in contact with them, a lot of times you can go to them and you don't have to buy equipment. You should really have some boots that fit you properly, that are a half size big, or whatever for your event. There's basic things you need to take, but most schools, the really good ones, if they say you don't need equipment, they'll have everything there for you and they'll show you the proper equipment to have. It's better to use their stuff that's the right stuff instead of buying secondhand crap that's going to get you hurt or teach you bad habits and stuff. I've seen some really sketchy things at schools before, and there's been times I'm like, you can't. Like I had a kid one time show up with a saddle and I was like, man, this saddle's going to get you hurt. Like it's really old, but it's not built how you need. Are you chewing on my saddle back there? The mini's back here eating my stuff. But you need to go somewhere where someone's going to guide you in the right direction so you can learn right. It's going to take years off your learning curve. It's going to add years to your riding career. And there's a bunch of really good schools out there. There's one coming up for the pre-IFR, and they take, I mean, if you guys are interested in something, they take new guys. They have equipment there for people who have never been on horses. They have horses in stock there for people who have been on very few that need to learn stuff. You have a ton of great coaches. I'm actually going to go there to work on some stuff for me. There's also, we have a school up here in Erie that's coming up that you guys can go to. I mean, the Wright brothers have a school coming up. I think that's around Thanksgiving. Like you just look, Sankey Rodeo Schools puts on good schools from what I hear. There's schools out there you can go. Don't just go get on and try to figure this stuff out. You need to have somebody show you how to do things when you start, because it's so critical and important to start everything properly and to get a good base on everything without learning a bad habit. Because once you learn a bad habit, you get stuck with it. Man, it's so much harder to break those than just start out with good habits. So that's kind of it with this. Sorry, I kind of ramble on a little bit. Excuse you. I ramble on a little bit, but it's a lot to explain with stuff. Basically, to sum it all up, if you're starting out, you need to find an appropriate spot to start. Like if you have zero experience, you need to find a school that's going to get you that experience you need and to use equipment, stuff like that. Don't go out there and spend $2,000 on brand new equipment or just used stuff because you don't know what you're buying yet. It's all about being informed properly with it. So you find your schools and you build from that, and then you need to find stock contractors that are close to you and associations that are close to you that are good for you to build up onto. Like you find a stock contractor who has stock that's appropriate for your level to get on. I mean, you can't choose your stock when you enter rodeos, but you don't want to be getting on at freaking trying to enter, a 2,500 added rodeo with some rank colts in it, as opposed to you have a stock contract. Like we have ones here who he'll put nice horses in sometimes that are just sweet hoppers. So even sometimes you can talk to stock contractors and they'll help you out with stuff. They'll put you on some practice horses. But again, the key is get to a school and get going with it. So again, everything I've said here is kind of what I've learned and my opinion and my thoughts on the stuff. Not everything is going to be right for everybody, but I just try to express how I feel with stuff because I don't want you guys to have to learn the way I did. When I started, I bought a VHS tape off eBay, and I had to, basically I bought off eBay, bought the saddle and everything like that, and I had to figure it out. I watched that video till it was broke. And then I went to schools. And after I got on a couple horses and I broke my nose on my very first one, and I just it made it a long process to figure things out. And I had some bad habits that I had already started before I went to the school. Now there are so many schools and so many places for you guys to learn properly that's really what you should be looking at first. And I mean, if you can't find a school somewhere, shoot me a message. I mean, there's schools everywhere. We'll try to find you some stuff. So I hope this helped, guys, and I appreciate you watching. So thanks.